Hi there people, welcome back. Tonight we are looking at GameStop. So GameStop now is in quite an unfortunate position. If we look at this one on today's charts on Google, we can see that the share price from 9:30 this morning has decreased by quite a significant amount, down so far by about 14.5%, so not the best of the starts for today. Again, the 5-day chart is still bringing a negative result, down by 37%, and the 1-month chart now is still quite green, but again with that dip that we are seeing both in the past 2 or 3 days, and of course just a few days ago at this high, we are still up, but we're up by only 21% in comparison to the highs where we were up by over 143%. So the share price, you can see, has been falling significantly by quite a large amount in quite a short period of time, and this has begged a lot of questions. People asking, is a stock dead? Should you buy it? Should you avoid it? Well, of course nobody knows for sure, and this is only my opinion, but in this video I am sharing that opinion, so make sure to give it a like and of course subscribe to this channel if you may want to hear that. Thank you for everything so far, thank you for all the support. Let's keep it going, let's keep growing the channel, but yes, let's jump into this one as well. Right, so GME is a very interesting stock. We have seen a lot of hype around it very recently. Now, something that I do want to draw your attention to looking on Fintel is the amount of short interest for GME. So GME it actually looks like it's got a short volume ratio of 20%, which is actually slightly better than AMC, which is good in my opinion. I think this is very interesting. I think there is still quite a lot of potential on the table for GME, even though we have seen this drop in price in the past few days. So a lot of people are pointing to a lot of different things, looking at both AMC and GME and why they have been falling in the past few days. People are talking about market manipulation potentially. I think that is an understandable one. I can see where they're coming from. Again, I can't confirm if that's true or not, but people are saying that, some of the funds or people who are shorting this stock, they want the price to fall, so of course they don't have to cover such a large amount of money. I think that explanation is kind of sensical. It does kind of make a bit of sense, but I cannot neither confirm nor deny whether that is the case. But I think it is a very interesting argument to bring. Either way, we have seen a lot of selling action in GME in the past few days. But one thing that I do want to draw your attention to, which I find quite interesting, is the volume of the stock, and this does give us an indication of how much GME stock is being traded on a daily basis. So if it will let me highlight on the screen how much volume we have been seeing in the past few days, just for a bit of a reference point. Again, looking at the highs, if we can actually highlight that, if it will let me, which for some reason it won't, there we go. Yeah, so if we do have a look at how much volume we have been trading in the past few days, we can see that up to the highs we are seeing volume quite steep actually of around 50 million, so actually even higher than that up here at 93 million, and you can see that basically volume when it does step up really does. 177 million down here, but again, you can see 50 million, 40 million, 30 million, 78 million down here, so that is just a bit of a rough estimate for what we have been seeing for volume. In this dead period, volume was quite low. We saw volume of 9 million, 23 million, etc, etc, quite low volume in that time period, and again it did explode once we got to this frame of time here. Now, what we have been seeing in the past few days is very interesting movements in volume. If we do have a look even on this long candlestick day, volume was about 24 million. So it is still quite high, don't get me wrong, but it's not as steep as what we have been seeing previously. Volume down here down to 10 million, and even today we are seeing volume of 16 million. Now, volume of 16 million is actually similar to what we saw in this time period, and in my eyes, this shows that a lot of people still aren't doing anything with GME. Now, this could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. Again, nobody knows for sure where the stock is going, and I do believe it is one of the more risky ones out there, as we do already know. But I think this does indicate to a strong community behind the stock still being there, and a lot of people still holding the stock. Now, it is bound to happen. It does make sense that when the stock price does drop, a lot of people will be selling out of this stock. I think a lot of people bought into this one because they like the company, that's fine. But again, a lot of people bought into this one because they heard the news articles, they read something on perhaps Reddit saying that the stock price is going to explode. And as soon as the stock price plummets by a bit, I think these people are selling out, and I think this further adds to the share price falling. So I can understand subsequently why the share price is down so much at the moment. I think it is still interesting. Again, a large amount of people, it does appear to be is the case, a large amount of people are holding the stock still. And for that reason, I think there is still some potential on the table. People talk about GME stock being dead, and AMC for that matter as well. I think it is hard to say where these stocks are going, whether they are going to the moon or whether they are going to fall in value. Of course, it is very, very hard to predict that, but I definitely don't think that they are dead. And I think if they are dead, it's going to take a while for these to fully fall in value by a large amount. So overall, I think the stock is quite risky where we stand at the moment, but I think if you are aware of the risks and if you know what you're getting into, perhaps now could be a decent time to buy into GME. Again, we don't know how low this one's going to go, but what we do know is that it is quite risky, and if it is to plummet, it could be by a large amount. On the same note, if it is to rocket, that could be by a large amount as well, so that is the other side of the argument. So you just need to look at this one, guys, and of course look at the amount of risk you're willing to take before you get into GME. So my opinion is, yes, we are seeing about 5 days of sell-off now for GME and for AMC. Not necessarily the best, not necessarily the worst. I don't think this one is over yet, and with today being quite flat in relation to the past week or so, I think there is still some potential of this one picking itself back up in the next week or so. So again, I would not buy this one at the moment. I personally do not own shares in this company, but I think if you are looking to buy this one, I would like to see at least 1 day of positivity, or at least a few hours of positivity before I was to buy that. And people have commented in the past, why would you want to see this stock in the green? Wouldn't you want to buy the dip? Well, yes, that is the case. I do absolutely agree with that to an extent for some companies in some instances. For this one, it's not necessarily the same as those types of stocks, as this one is mainly being pushed by a community who have a certain type of beliefs about the stock. So for me at least, I would like to see this one be in the green for at least a few hours before I was to get into this one. And yes, that could reduce the gains by a small amount, but in my eyes, I think it is worth having that safety in the back of my mind at least before I was to get into this one. But please tell me what you think down in the comment section. Just remember though, it's only my personal opinions, but I'll see you again tomorrow hopefully. So goodbye until then, have a wonderful evening, and I will see you soon.